On the night of June 24, 1950, North Korean military leaders finalized their invasion plans in a secret war room near the 38th parallel. Soviet advisors provided tactical support, while Kim Il-sung approved the operation. Over 200 T-34 tanks and 170,000 troops were positioned for a blitzkrieg attack. The South Korean army, unaware of the impending assault, maintained minimal defenses. This moment marked the calm before a storm that would reshape Korea's history. By 3 p.m. on June 25th, columns of North Korean infantry and artillery began moving southward under strict radio silence. Soldiers carried Soviet-supplied weapons, while horse-drawn artillery navigated rugged terrain. The element of surprise was crucial. Their orders were to cross the 38th parallel before dawn. South Korean border patrols, expecting a quiet night, detected nothing. This stealthy mobilization would trigger the first major conflict of the Cold War. At precisely 4 a.m., North Korean artillery batteries opened fire along the entire 38th parallel. Over 700 cannons and Katyusha rockets lit up the sky, targeting South Korean positions and border villages. The bombardment was codenamed Operation Pokpong, Storm. Within minutes, communication lines were severed, and unprepared ROK troops faced chaos. This surprise attack violated the 1949 Armistice Agreement, catching the world off guard. As shells rained down, farming villages near the border awoke to devastation. Thatched homes burst into flames, and families fled with only their clothes. Many civilians, including children, were killed in the initial barrage. Survivors scrambled towards Seoul, creating the first wave of war refugees. Eyewitness accounts later described the horror. The sky turned red and the ground shook. This marked the beginning of a humanitarian crisis that would South Korea's army, equipped with outdated WW-2 weapons and no tanks, collapsed within hours. Entire battalions were overrun as T-34s smashed through barricades. By noon, the 7th ROK Division had lost 70% of its troops. Desperate soldiers used human wave tactics with little effect. U.S. military advisors reported complete breakdowns in command. This catastrophic failure exposed Seoul to imminent capture, a strategic disaster for the fledgling democracy. North Korea's Soviet-supplied T-34 tanks became the invasion's unstoppable force. Weighing 32 tons with 85mm guns, they outclassed South Korea's anti-tank weapons. By June 26, 3 armored divisions had advanced 15 kilometers south, encircling ROK troops. U.S. intelligence later admitted underestimating their impact. These steel behemoths symbolized communist technological superiority and foreshadowed the Cold War's arms race. By midday on June 25, air raid sirens wailed across Seoul as refugees streamed in. Government radio broadcasts urged calm, but panicked citizens mobbed trains heading south. U.S. diplomats burned classified documents, fearing the city's fall. Meanwhile, North Korean Yak-9 fighters strafed highways, creating roads of death. This chaos revealed the war's psychological toll and foreshadowed Seoul's capture in just 3 days. As North Korean forces neared Seoul on June 27th, over 100,000 refugees clogged the Han River bridges. Many drowned when the ROK army prematurely blew up the crossings to slow the enemy. Survivors described a carpet of bodies floating downstream. This tragedy became a symbol of the war's brutality and a rallying cry for South Korean resistance. The bridge's destruction also trapped retreating ROK troops, worsening the military collapse. On June 27, the UN Security Council convened an emergency session. With the USSR boycotting over China's seat, the U.S. pushed through Resolution 83, branding North Korea the aggressor. President Truman authorized airstrikes without Congress, a precedent for future wars. Declassified documents show Stalin's shock at the swift response. This moment globalized the conflict, transforming it from a civil war into a Cold War proxy battle. By June 28th, Pyongyang State Radio declared liberation of Seoul, playing triumphant marches. Propaganda posters showed Kim Il-sung